Joining us today is Dr. Derrell Peel, Extension Livestock Marketing Specialist, here to talk to us a little bit about the cattle cycle. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where we are with that?
You know, we got new numbers on January 1 for the cattle cycle, and obviously we did accelerate herd liquidation. So backing up just a little bit, the beef cow herd and cattle numbers in general peaked in 2019. We've been in some level of liquidation for the last 3 years, but it accelerated in 2021 because of the drought on top of other factors that we had last year.
So knowing that we're in this drought cycle, how do you think that may or may not impact what's getting ready to happen with cattle numbers over the next few months?
You know, with the drought conditions we have right now, if those persist into the spring and into the summer, as we get into the growing season, it will have a major impact on this cattle cycle. So given that parts of the country have been in drought for 2 years, parts of it were in a lot of drought last year, we really weren't right here in Oklahoma, but we are now, and if it goes into the springtime. So the bottom line is, if the drought persists through the first half of the year, we will see a substantially accelerated rate of herd liquidation. We'll see a lot of cows that have to be marketed. We'll see early weaning of calves and a change in timing of our feeder cattle in 2021.
Okay. What happens if the drought recedes or becomes less of a factor for us?
You know, that's a really interesting question, trying to figure out what producers will do if they can kind of do what they want to do, at least within the boundaries of what we have to work with. And so, you know, if the drought is not a factor forcing us to do certain things, then the question becomes, you know, we've got higher cattle prices this year. We're expecting higher cattle prices. Is that enough to get producers to kind of want to change the direction of this cattle cycle? So they could be interested in stabilizing the herd or even trying to grow it a little bit. But the real question then is, could they do that if that's what they want to do? And of course, and assuming drought's not an issue, the bottom line is that given that we had such a reduction in replacement heifers last year because of the drought, I don't think the herd could probably grow this year. I can't make the numbers work out to show that we could grow, but we could really slow down the rate of liquidation to maybe a very small percentage and be sort of set up for maybe beginning herd expansion in 2023 if this year goes right.
Okay, so as we look to the future, what could producers be doing to kind of get ready for that?
Well, obviously, producers that are in drought are still dealing with drought. So they're watching that. I think all producers in general want to watch these two scenarios that we just kind of laid out as to how the drought evolves or whether the drought gives us a little more room to kind of pursue what we want to do. Once we kind of know which of those is happening, then if you're in the drought, you're trying to deal with it, but you're trying to set up for recovery as much as possible. Other producers that aren't in drought will want to know that. Because again, we've got higher cattle prices. There will be some opportunities for herd rebuilding, and so we'll be watching not only the feeder cattle markets, but also the cull cow markets very closely this year.
Okay, so definitely a lot of things for us to be looking at. Appreciate the information that you're sharing with us today, Dr. Peel.